Alright, so we are part 6 of the Adult Ed Algebra Extra Credit Packet. And we've got some multiplication here of binomials. So how you do this and how I taught you to do it was with the box method. Some people can do it out without using the box, but I'm going to do a few with the box. So x plus 10 and x minus 9. And you could put the x plus 10 also on the side if you wanted to, and the x minus 9 on the top. It doesn't matter. So x times x is x squared. X times 10 is 10x. Negative 9 times x is negative 9x. And negative 9 times 10 is negative 90. So all you have to do now is combine like terms. Your answer is x squared plus 1x minus 90. And these are all pretty much solved the same way. So problem 2, we have a different order, but it doesn't matter. Order doesn't matter in multiplication. We've got 7 plus x and an x minus 12. X times 7 is 7x. X times x for x squared. Negative 12 times 7 for negative 84. And negative 12 times x for negative 12x. And as math students, we need to write these in descending order of power, so that's why we always put the x squared first. If you combined the x's, you'd get negative 5x, and then you have your negative 84. So that's how you're going to do these using the box method. So number 3, your numbers would be x squared minus 2x minus 10x and a plus 20. Then when you combine, you have negative 12x and then a plus 20. So number 4, x squared plus 81x minus 8x minus 648. So we've got an 81 and a minus 8. We have x squared plus 73x minus 648. Number 5, we've got 8x squared plus 6x minus 4x minus 3. So these combine. 6x minus 4x is 2x. This one again a different order. So we've got 10 times 5 for 50, negative 90x, negative 10x, and plus 18x squared. So I want to rearrange them, and I want 18x squared minus 100x plus 50. So 7, again, these are all very similar. Negative 6x squared minus 12x minus 8x minus 16. 6x squared minus 20x minus 16. Number 8 is a little different. So the squared means that you're going to multiply it times itself. So it's going to look like this. Your answer is not going to be x squared plus 100, which is what you would think it would be. When you square that, you have to do the box method. So you've got x squared plus 10x plus 10x plus 100. And you've got 20x when you combine those. And you're plus 100. And you can bet that the AccuPlacer is going to have x squared plus 100 as an answer. So same thing, 5 minus x times 5 minus x. You've got 25 minus 5x minus 5x plus x squared. That's a negative 10x. It's a 25. That's an x squared. And again, you could rearrange it. I suppose we'll do that. X squared minus 10x plus 25. Descending order. We have one more, which looks like this. 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3. So we've got 4x squared minus 6x plus 9. That's a negative 12. 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 for that one. Now we're going to go on to page 12. So on this page, we're doing some factoring, and it wants us to factor out the greatest common factor when we can. So if you look at number 1, they have in common a 3 and an x. And if you take that out of the first term, you have an x left, and you have a 2 in the second term. If you multiplied that out using the box method or just distributive property, you would get the same thing, which is what you want. Number 2, we can take a 4 out of all those numbers. They can all be divided by 4. They each have one a, and they each have two b's. So the first term, all that's left is an a, minus sign. 4b is left of the second term. 2c is left of the third term. So on this problem, we have no middle term, no x term, which means it cancels out. So we have to have a positive and a negative of the same number in order to make that happen. And we know that 5 times 5 is 25, so this factors x minus 5 and x plus 5. And you could check any of these using the box method, which I'm going to do for this one. So x plus 5 here, and x plus 5. We've got x squared minus 5x plus 5x and negative 25. So as you can see, these cancel, and you're left with x squared minus 25. So this next one, 15, the factors are 5 times 3 and 15 times 1. You want two things that add to get 8. So that's an n, that's an n. The only way to get n squared is n times n. So 5 and 3, both positive. So this one, you want factors of 20, 10 and 2, 20 and 1, and 5 and 4. We've got G. So the only pair that add to get negative 9 are 5 and 4. They're both going to be negative because you have a negative 9 and you have a positive 20, and we know that a negative 5 times a negative 4 would give you that positive 20. We've got 6. 28 would be 14 and 2, 7 and 4, 28 and 1. So we want two things that subtract to get 3. We know that because your 28 is negative. So we've got D and D, 7 and 4. Then you have to decide which one's positive and which one's negative. The 7 is going to be positive because you have a positive 3. And if you have a positive 7 minus 4, that would give you your 3. We've got number 7. We've got a z and another z. Factors of 30. We have 3 and 10, 15 and 2, 6 and 5, and 30 and 1. So we want two things that subtract to get negative 7 because you have a negative 30. So 10 and 3 would. The 10 is going to be negative and the 3 is going to be positive. You've got number 8, M and M. Factors of 81, there are a lot, but I can already see that it's going to be 9 times 9 because we want them to add to get 18. So you don't have to list out all the factors if you can figure out within just one whether it works or not. So that's what I do as I do these problems, is I kind of try them out in my head to see if they work. We've got 9, which is another one with the greatest common factor. So they both have a 4 in common. They both have a y. So what would be left is y squared minus 9. And then that one you're done. There's no way to, not done, I apologize. The y squared minus 9 can factor into y minus 3 and y plus 3. Because that middle term cancels out. It's just like that earlier one that we did with the 25. So that's your technical answer. And the final one, you could work with these numbers if you wanted to, but personally I would factor out a 5 to make the numbers better. We're left with k squared, 6k, and I believe that is 27. So that's going to be much easier than figuring out the factors of 135. So we can set this up. I can already tell that 9 times 3 is going to work. 9 is positive and 3 is negative, so that we can make a positive 6. And then we have our 5 outside. And this concludes part 6 of the Algebra Extra Credit Packet.